Hello, it's Weekend Handicapper from weekendhandicapper.com. In this video, I'm going to give you my picks and analysis for the Peter Pan Stakes at Saratoga. This is a race that is on the road to the Kentucky Derby, so a Derby prep race. It is race number 9 on Thursday, July 16th at Saratoga. We're going a mile and an eighth. Let's go one by one with each horse, and at the end, I'll give you my picks and potential tickets for this year's Peter Pan. All right, so typically at Saratoga, I know it's very, very early on in the meet, but inside, and especially inside early speed, if you have that combination in your horse, if you're looking for horses that have a winning profile, typically inside early speed, I'm talking about just on the dirt, is where you want to be. So keep that in mind. So at the very beginning, the very first horse we're going to look at, the number 1, Mohawk, is 20-1 morning line. It's an early speed horse. It's got that inside speed that typically is preferable, and it's breaking from the 1 hole, so which is another thing. So keep that in mind. If you're looking for a long shot, maybe if you use track bias and running style as a major factor in your handicapping, if you put a lot of emphasis on it, then this could be a long shot to include at least in your exotic tickets or underneath in the Zactus, Trifectas, Superfectas. Number 2, Country Grammar, 7-2. We have these connections that are so overbet in New York. I know you heard me talk about Chad Brown and his low-priced horses, but unfortunately he has a horse that is breaking from the inside post, the number 2 hole, and it's an early speed horse too. So, but the fact that these connections, Rod Ortiz, Chad Brown, when they team up, yeah, they usually win, but they're also very overbet. So definitely a contender, but try to beat it because I think they take a lot of money. Number 3, Modernist, came in 7th at the Belmont for Bill Mott horse. This is Bill Mott horse. It's definitely a contender, but I think we could try to find some better value elsewhere. Number 4, Celtic Striker, good old Celtic Striker, 12-1, another early speed horse. Earned its best speed figure the last time out, all right, in the Easy Goer at Belmont. So will this horse keep improving? If so, at 12-1 morning line, it's worth a gamble for sure. It's worth a risk at 12-1. The trainer does well, 3rd start off for the layoff, which is what this horse is running. This race is the 3rd start after it's at a layoff. So at a price, number 4, Celtic Striker has a lot of good things going for it. Number 5, Candy Tycoon. This is John Velasquez and Todd Pletcher, another heavily bet, overbet in many cases, combinations in New York, especially big race, in big races. It's coming off a layoff. It hasn't raced since it raced at Oaklawn Park. Again, I think if you're looking at it from a value perspective, maybe look at some of these other horses that don't have these big name connections, because you might be getting better prices on them. Number 6, Mystic Guide. It should be the horse to beat for sure for Michael Stidham. Should place well here. And from a pace perspective, this horse will probably be setting a little bit off the pace, more of a pressing style horse. And we got a lot of early speed horses in here. So maybe the race is going to set up well for this horse, but it's 5-2 morning line. So you either on this horse and take it at a low price, or try to beat this horse with other horses, hopefully at better prices. But definitely number 6 is the horse to beat in my opinion, and a lot of others' opinions. Number 7, Caro, early speed horse breaking from the outside, 6-1 morning line. Javier Castellano, trainer with That's the jockey, but the trainer isn't as well known as these other trainers in this race. These big names, the Browns, the Pletchers, the Asmussen, which we're getting ready to talk about, the Bill Motts. So I think this horse has the early speed. The post is a negative. Breaking from the outside, definitely would prefer this horse if it broke more toward the inside. Prefer it more, I should say. But I don't think the horse is to its immediate left. On the inside, it will have a problem getting over, breaking early and getting out to the early lead. Yeah, there's other horses in the race, a lot of other speed horses, but I think this horse won't be stuck on the outside for that long. At least I hope not, and that's what I'm banking against. But I think the running style is a plus. It's got the highest speed figure. Hasn't raced since January, and that's could be a concern or a red flag. But the trainer does well off the layoff. It hasn't been working lights out, I don't think, but it hasn't been working bad. So at 6-1, and with lesser known connections as terms of trainers go, I think this horse has a really legitimate shot. If it just doesn't become a victim of a lot of other early pace. But at 6-1, definitely the value of this race. Number 8, Chestertown, 10-1 morning line. It's got to improve if it's wanting to compete against this field. Steve Asmussen's having a really good year. So if you have that much faith in that trainer and this jockey, Carlos Santana Jr., then maybe put a few bucks at 10-1 on it. But I think it really has to step up. And number 9, Catzarelli. It's a closer, 30-1 morning line for Tom Amoss. It's a long shot. It's a long shot whose only chance is a lot of early speed happening. And that could be possible. I think you got probably 4 horses that are going to try to gun for the early lead, which doesn't factor well for, well, you got 2 ways to look at it. The early speed is where you want to be typically at Saratoga at this distance. But is too much early speed, does that negate everything? Or are these horses classier to overcome it? Or have enough class to overcome that speed duel? Or more than a speed duel, just a lot of early speed. But despite that, despite having the early speed, and a lot of early speed, I'm going to go with the number 7, Caracaro. Caracaro hopefully will be the better value. It's not breaking on the inside, but I think it has a decent shot. And I would prefer that horse over other ones that are the Chad Brown horse that's going to get bet down, I'm sure. Bill Mott's Modernist, number 3, is going to get bet down. The number 6 for sure should be setting a good trip if, in fact, you're going to have a lot of early speed. So, going just a simple win bet on number 7, Caracaro. If the track profile, the post bias, all those sorts of things on the inside is, in fact, true and holds up to form, then if you play exactas or trifectas, use those horses in your exotics. So the 1, Mohawk at a decent price, early speed horse. The number 2, the Chad Brown horse. It's going to be out on the early lead. So it's got that nice combination of early speed, inside post that usually works well at Saratoga. And here I am going contrarian to that if it is, in fact, that strong of a bias. So what I'm saying is, if you play exactas, trifectas, superfectas, include those, the one horse, the 2 horse, the 3 horse, the 4 horse, because Celtic Striker, the number 4 horse, has an excellent shot too at a decent price. And if you could combine some of those combinations based on inside post, early speed, you should do well. But be careful, because the number 6, if that pace collapses, the number 6 is going to be sitting right there to pick up the pieces, the Mystic Guide. All right. So I would love to hear who you like in this year's Peter Pan Stakes at Saratoga. Leave a comment below. If you like these videos, hit the like button, subscribe, and that notification bell. And so you can get all of the latest tips, tools, and resources to help you win money on thoroughbred horse races. Until next time, happy handicapping, smart wagering.